Okay, so for the continuation of our lesson, it's all about structure of a formal report. So when we say a formal report, it is a document based on research and created to assist leaders in the decision-making process. A formal report should be clear and concise and written in a formal business tone, avoiding slang and the overuse of jargon. When writing a formal report, planning and rhetorical awareness are critical. No, so understand the purpose, audience, stakeholders, and the context. And of course, reading ensures the document is free from spelling and grammatical errors. So when it comes to the structure of a formal report, it varies by size, format, and function. So you need to be flexible, to adjust your report to the needs of your audience. So the content of the report has to be organized in a logical way to help the readers understand the message clearly. So the elements that constitute a report are also determined by the existing practice in an organization in terms of producing reports. That is, if an organization does not require an abstract or summary for a report. So these elements can be omitted. So before we proceed on seeing or learning the structure of a formal report, no, so it's better to say that there is no universal format for a report. There is just a common order to the information. So each element, it supports the main purpose of or function, no? And of course it play an important role in the transmission of information. So there are several organizational patterns that may be used for formal reports. So all formal reports contain front matter, the body, and of course the back matter. So let's see. So here are the standard 20 elements of structure of a full-fledged report are as follows. The prefatory parts include cover, title, page, certificate, acknowledgements, table of contents, list of illustrations, abstract, the main text, introduction, discussion, conclusions, and recommendations. Supplementary parts, appendix or appendices, references or bibliography, glossary. Optional elements are frontispiece, letter of transmittal, copyright notice, preface, summary, and index. So here is an example of a cover page and frontispiece. No, but we will not follow this one. No, you will create your own title page. So this is an example of a certificate. Certain reports, such as project reports and research reports, require a certificate vouching that original contribution of the report writer. So it contains the statement testifying that this is an original work by, including the place, the date, and the signature of the project guide. So this is our title page. It provides the audience with the name of the report, the organization of the individual receiving the report. You would just type prepared for, name of the author, and any necessary identifying information prepared by, and the date of submission. So it looks like this, So given na po what is the length, when it comes to inches, uppercase by letter, single space, and of course the date submitted. Okay, not the date written, but the date submitted. So The second structure is letter of transmittal. It should be briefed, and it is like a cover letter from the report which explains the causes for writing the report. So as you can see, it is very short and on point, no? If applicable, the first paragraph should identify who authorized the report and why it is significant. And then the next paragraph would be describing the primary and secondary research of the report. And for the concluding part, you will discuss what will be offering, from the report. So when considering your audience for the letter, make sure that you use a level of formality appropriate for your relationship with the reader. So for us, because I will be your audience, so it should be formal. Acknowledgement. So this is a list of persons who you would like to thank for their advice, support, or assistance of any kind. Of course, this page it enables you to thank all those who have helped you in carrying out your report. Careful thought should be given concerning those who who whose help should be acknowledged and in what order. So of course, the general advice is to express your appreciation in a concise manner and to avoid a strong emotive language. For example, I wish to thank various people for their contribution to this project, or special thanks should be given to, or I would like to express my great appreciation to, or I would like to thank the staff for the following organizations, and etc. Another part of a formal report, and you will be doing this also, is a table of contents or an outline. So it's generally titled Simply Contents, and it helps the reader locate a specific topic easily and quickly. However, contents need not to be included in a short report, 10 pages or less. So it should be written on a separate page. It features the headings and secondary headings of the report and their page numbers. So of course, it enable audience to quickly locate specific parts of the report. So sometimes, katulad po dun sa mga pinasa nyong table of contents and outline, merong spaced or unspaced dots, so it is used, to guide the reader's eye from the headings to their page numbers. And for example, ganito na rin po yung gawin ninyo, make this as your guide for your formal report. So you will create your own formal report, based on the situation that you will choose. So I'll be updating you na lang po sa ating GC or sa ating Google Classroom. The next is the list of illustrations. So if your document has 2 figures or tables, create a separate list of pictures. So all the illustrations that appear in the report will be list except tables or other visual aids, graphs, maps, drawings, and charts, because they are grouped under illustrations or figures. The list of illustrations gives the titles and page numbers of all visual aids. This lists would enable the reader to quickly locate any specific illustration. Of course, there are many design, considering the design of the table of contents, ganun rin po si list of illustrations or figures. So just like the table of contents, You can quickly find the illustrations, diagrams, tables, and charts in your report by the use of this structure. And for example, list of figures and list of tables. If you have figures and tables, no, ipagsama na lang po like this. Another part is an abstract. It gives the essence of the report. In a business report, it is known as the synopsis. The length of an abstract is generally 2 to 5% of the report. If the report is less than 10 pages, it does not require either an abstract or summary. So, an abstract will give you a quick overview of your report and its organization. This should express your thesis or your central idea and your key points. And of course, suggest any implications or applications of the discussion in your report. An abstract is a concise summary of the entire paper. So it should begin with a precise statement. It should not evaluate, no, but describe the function or a problem or an issue. So here is an example of a bad abstract and a good abstract. So look at the example, no? Take time to read it. So as you can see here, notice that the bad abstract, this paper will look at the human genome, no? So avoid starting your abstract like this, but make sure that your abstract will be read like an overview of your paper, not a proposal for what you needed to study or accomplish. So again, avoid beginning your sentences with phrases like this paper will examine, this paper will look at, or in this paper I will attempt to prove. So abstract versus summary, because sometimes napapag pareho po sila. So an abstract is more appropriate in specialist to specialist communication, where the reader would be expected to have some background knowledge of the subject. A summary is meant for all readers and is longer than an abstract. A report of 10 to 50 pages should have an abstract. If it is a long report, more than 50 pages, it needs both an abstract and a summary. For your activity, you will not make an abstract, but we will include an executive summary for your activity. An abstract does not follow or does not allow abbreviations, acronyms, or illustrations. It tells the reader the following: objectives, the main findings or accomplishments, and significance. Another example of an abstract, you see, it summarizes or give a quick overview of about medical facilities, no? Not attempting to prove or not a proposal for a study or a proposal for what you intended to accomplish. So on the other hand, the summary is an optional element and is meant for all readers. Summary or an executive summary, it presents the entire report in a nutshell. Si summary po, it should include points from each section of the report. It presents an overview of the report that can be used as a time-saving device by recipients who do not have time to read the entire report. A summary is usually seen as the most important part of the report and it should be written last. No? So, paano mo masasummarize kung hindi mo pa nabuo yung iyong report? Okay? So, when you are writing this executive summary, imagine that someone would like to know the background of your report. No? So, for a few minutes that you will talk to them or make them understand your report, no, what you would like to tell them. What do you think is the most persuasive thought or idea from your report? So yun yung. So let's differentiate the two. Si abstract, essence of the report, while si summary, entire report in a nutshell. Si abstract, 2 to 5%. Si summary, 5 to 10%. Si abstract, more relevant in specialist to specialist communication. However, si summary is meant for all readers. Si abstract po, information is qualitative. Si summary, both qualitative and quantitative. Si abstract does not include illustrations. Si summary, it may include illustrations. So another part is a preface. Just like the other parts, it is also an optional element. It is the preliminary message from the writer to the reader. Commonly, we are saying preface, if you are reading a book, or a motivational book, diba? Laging may preface. So, ano po ang laman ng preface? So, it seeks to help the reader appreciate and understand the report. It is also quite similar to the letter of transmittal, except it does not formally transmit the report. Ang nilalaman po nito, factors leading to the report, organization of the report, the highlights, and the significance. Also, it may include the background and purpose of the report. It will specify, who will be the target audience of the report. Acknowledge any direct or is there any indirect assistance, for finishing the report. And of course, you need to cite permission for copyrighted work. So dito na po tayo sa body, of a formal report, and it begins with an introduction. It introduces the readers to the report and prepares them for the discussion that follows by providing background information, defining its aims and objectives, and discussing the scope and limitations of the report. It helps the reader in understanding and analyzing the report, as it includes facts that the reader must know in order to understand the discussion and the analysis that follow. Sa introduction po, it will set the stage for the report, and it will clarify what need or needs motivated it, and it will help the reader understand what structure the report will follow. So it may include the following elements: background information, problem or purpose, the significance, the scope, the methods, organization, and the sources. It is also important to note the structure, which is a methodology. So the methodology, while writing a report, information may have to be gathered from library and archival sources or through internet surfing, interview surface, and formal or informal discussions. So this methodology summarizes the methods of data collection, the procedures for investigating the situation or problem, and the criteria of survey. So unlike in a research, si methodology wala pong analysis of data or any statistics. You will just include how you collected the data, what are your procedures, and your criteria. Yan. So after that, you will discuss or describe your report. So this is the main part of the report, as it presents the data that has been collected in an organized form. It focuses on facts and findings of the report and may include an objective description and discussion of the problem, an analysis of the situation and findings of the investigation. It is usually divided into sections and subsections with well-structured and clear headings and subheadings. So discussion naman po, it will present the evidence, for your conclusions. This section should be carefully organized and to enhance readability. So you may follow these organizational patterns, but it is not limited to this bulleted patterns. Una po, you can use best case or worst case organizational pattern when you think that the audience may lack interest in the topic. With clear alternatives to your proposed solution, consider yourself using a compare and contrast organizational pattern. When it comes to geographical patterns, it works effectively for topics that are discussed by location. Okay. So for the last part of a formal report, we have conclusions and recommendation. So let's start with conclusion. Put here all the essential points developed in the discussion. The function of this section is to bring the discussion to a close and to signal to the readers gracefully that they have reached the end. It also refers to the logical inferences drawn, the judgments formed on the basis of analysis of data presented in the report, or the findings of investigation. Sa recommendation naman po, it contains recommendations that are based on results and conclusion. So, you will propose a course of action to improve, or you may present several ways to solve a problem or improve the situation. It may also indicate the need and nature for further work in the concerned area. So make sure po that the conclusion and recommendations are written in uppercase letters. The conclusion should answer any research questions that were posed in your report, and it should be enumerated or bulleted list, no, to enhance readability. Ulitin ko po, si conclusion at recommendation dapat naka-bullet type or naka-enumerate. You can use bullets or number. Okay. So all formal reports should include a works cited page. So this page documents the sources cited within the report. So it is also called appendices. So there are many documentation style that we can use. MLA, Modern Language Association, CMS, or Chicago Manual of Style. And the most familiar one, and we will use APA, or American Psychological Association, for your documentation style. And 7th edition, search what is this APA 7th edition style. Anong mauuna? Si writer ba? Si year? May parenthesis ba? Naka-italize ba yung title? So depending on the sources that you will include in your report, iba-iba rin po yun, and masa-search nyo lang yun sa internet. And of course, it is very important that you will arrange all your sources alphabetically. Sa references and bibliography po, so references can be from books, journals, reports, dissertations, published government documents, and other sources. So it may also consist a list of materials for further reference. So yung sinasabi ko po kanina for references, si appendices hindi na po natin to lalagyan. Si references lang yung mahalaga. So ano pong gagamiting documentation style? APA 7th edition. And of course, dahil magsusulat na po kayo ng inyong formal report in your activity, here are the strategies that you can follow. Analyze the problem and purpose. Sa problem po, ako na po ang magbibigay noon. We have 5 problems that will be distributed to you depending on your choice. Magkakaroon po tayo ng voting or poll sa ating GC. determine the scope of the report. So you will start to know your objectives, no? So make sure to browse from the internet. Determine the needs of the audience. Gather all the information, analyze and organize the information, write the first draft, revise, review and revise, and write the final draft. Okay. So again po, I'll be sending your Google Classroom link and code, no, in our JCs. So you can see the activity that will be given to you, and do not worry dahil hindi naman po yun agad-agad ang pasahan, ang deadline, kasi maraming parts na kailangan kayong gawin. But ibibigay ko lang po ng mas maaga. Okay? So that's the end of our discussion. Thank you po for listening.